Welcome to the weekly AI news for the week ending the 18th of January. On the AI with Arun show. In this video, we are going to break down the 17 most critical updates from this week that you need to know. Let's get into it. First, let's look at the map. The world is splitting into new power blocks. Just this week, Japan and India launched a formal strategic dialogue in New Delhi. Why does this matter? Because they are building a sovereign AI infrastructure. Basically, they want to make sure they aren't dependent on a single superpower for their tech. The US is jumping in too, inviting India to join a new AI supply chain alliance to counter China's dominance. India is taking this seriously. Their new union budget just dropped a massive 2,000 crore rupees, that's a huge increase, to build their own AI capacity. We are seeing the formation of a tech NATO in the Indo-Pacific. Now, you can't have AI without chips, and the trade war has turned into a blockade. China has officially blocked imports of NVIDIA's H200 chips. In response, Chinese companies like Zhipu are now training models entirely on domestic Huawei chips. The ecosystem is fracturing, but here is the cool science part. In the United States, Intel has smashed through a major physical barrier. They've started high-volume manufacturing of glass substrates in Arizona. Think of a computer chip like a sandwich. Traditional materials warp when they get too hot or big. Glass doesn't. This allows for massive, 1,000-watt processors that are 10 times denser than what we have now. This is the hardware that will power the next generation. But having the chips isn't enough. You need electricity. And we are running out of it. We are seeing an energy shortage replace the chip shortage. Just look at OpenAI. They just signed a staggering $10 billion deal with Cerebras to secure 750 megawatts of computing power through 2028. To put that in perspective, that's enough power for hundreds of thousands of homes. The situation is so tight that President Trump is now demanding that tech giants pay out of their own pockets to build new power plants, because they are driving up utility bills for regular Americans. The grid is the new bottleneck. AI is entering the physical world. Boston Dynamics has officially started mass production of the electric Atlas robot. They are making 30,000 of them a year right now. These aren't prototypes anymore. They are working in warehouses. And it's not just humanoids. Siemens and NVIDIA have launched physical AI factories. They use digital twins, basically a video game version of the factory, to simulate everything before it's built. This allows robots to learn from mistakes in a simulation, so they work perfectly when they are turned on in the real world. Big money is following this trend. A startup called Skilled AI just raised $1.4 billion for robot brains. While robots build cars, AI is curing diseases. This is one of the most hopeful stories of the week. NVIDIA and Eli Lilly just launched a $1 billion lab in San Francisco. Here is the concept. Traditionally, discovering drugs takes years of trial and error in a wet lab with test tubes. This new lab uses AI dry labs to simulate biology first, cutting that timeline from years to months. We're also seeing new tools like Google's MedGemma 1.5, which can analyze complex 3D scans like MRIs. And in Israel, they've launched a regulatory sandbox that allows AI to actually make clinical decisions in hospitals, not just offer advice. The doctor of the future is a pilot, and AI is the navigator. Let's bring it closer to home, literally. Your smart home is about to get a lot smarter. The big news? Apple and Google have buried the hatchet. Apple is tapping Google's Gemini AI to power advanced features in Siri. This combines Apple's privacy hardware with Google's massive brain. And remember those robots? LG just launched a smart home robot called CLOID. It uses that same simulation technology I mentioned earlier to learn common sense so it doesn't knock over your vases. We are entering the age of the agentic home, where your house manages itself. Now, for some harder news. If you work in media, this is a crisis moment. A new report shows that global news traffic has dropped 33% because AI search results are answering questions directly, so nobody clicks on the links. To make matters worse, Google's ad infrastructure suffered a massive failure this week that wiped out 90% of revenue for some publishers for a few days. This shows how fragile the old internet economy is. If you are a creator, you cannot rely on search traffic anymore. You have to build a brand that people seek out directly. So if the old economy is breaking, what's the new one? It's agentic commerce. Imagine your AI assistant not just finding a flight, but booking it and paying for it. This week, the Universal Commerce Protocol, UCP, debuted. This is a secure standard that lets AI agents spend money and sign contracts autonomously. It solves spending hesitancy, the fear of letting a bot access your bank account. AI with Arun Show has a deep dive video on UCP. You will see the link to that video in the description below. At Davos, economists are already talking about AI supercycles, where these agents keep the economy moving 24/7. But if agents can spend money, they can also hack. We have entered a dangerous new phase. The AI company Anthropic released a report documenting a cyber espionage campaign where 90% of the attacks were done by AI, not humans. This is AI-orchestrated warfare. It moves faster than any human can react. The only defense is to have your own defensive AI fighting back. We are basically watching bot versus bot battles in our cybersecurity infrastructure. With all this chaos, who is making the rules? In the United States, it's a bit of a civil war. As of January 1st, strict AI laws went into effect in California and Texas. But the White House isn't happy. They've launched a litigation task force to sue states like California, arguing that a patchwork of 50 different state laws destroys innovation. It is a constitutional showdown. Does the state or the federal government control the safety switch on AI? Internationally, things are a bit more cooperative, unless you're Russia. The UN has launched a global dialogue to create an operating system for AI governance. Meanwhile, the EU and South American nations, Mercosur, signed a trade deal that aligns their ethical standards, creating a massive block of safe AI markets. On the other side, Russia has established a central headquarters to enforce technological sovereignty, basically isolating their AI from Western influence to maintain total state control. While the West argues about regulation, China is doubling down on what it does best: manufacturing. Beijing just launched an action plan to integrate AI into every part of their manufacturing sector by 2027. They are building 100 industrial datasets to train models specifically for factories. They are even using AI to catch corrupt officials and track bribery. However, the EU is pushing back, phasing out Chinese suppliers from critical infrastructure due to security concerns. The digital Iron Curtain is getting thicker. It is important to remember that AI isn't just a US or China story. Look at Africa. Startups there raised $262 million recently, focusing on vertical AI, solving specific problems like agriculture and fintech that work with local infrastructure. India is seeing a similar boom, crossing 1,000 AI startups. These regions aren't trying to build the next ChatGPT. They are building tools to improve crop yields and banking access. This is where AI hits the ground for billions of people. In the creative world, the boom continues. A video AI startup called Higgsfield just hit a $1.3 billion valuation. The demand for AI video is exploding, but safety is tightening. Elon Musk's xAI has actually restricted image generation on their Grok platform after pressure from regulators regarding deepfakes. And in the Middle East, the UAE released a new model, Falcon H1R, which is small but incredibly smart, proving you don't need a massive supercomputer to have high-level reasoning. Finally, let's look at two strategic hubs, Australia and Israel. They are placing very specific bets. Australia saw $1.4 billion in investment, but it's mostly for healthcare and infrastructure, mission-critical stuff, not fun apps. Israel is doing the same, pumping $450 million into deep tech to keep their edge in cybersecurity and defense. The trend here is clear. Nations are moving away from fun AI and pouring money into survival AI. So what is the big picture for this week? 1. The physical shift AI has left the chat window. It is in robots, it is designing drugs, and it is putting massive strain on our power grid. 2. The Great Divergence. The world is splitting. You have the Indo-Pacific bloc versus the China-Russia bloc, each building their own walls of chips and regulation. 3. The economy. While media models collapse, autonomous commerce is rising. The takeaway? Stop watching the chatbots. If you want to see where AI is going next, watch the energy sector and global trade deals. That is where the real game is being played. Thanks for watching. Please support our work by becoming a member. And please like, share, and subscribe to the AI with Arun show.